Hello again, and welcome back to that handicapping show at bloodhorse.com. I'm Tom Lamara, joined again by Pete Denk. A lot of racing this weekend. We'll be looking at the Dixiana Breeders Futurity for 2-year-olds at 1 mile and 16th on the poly track at Keeneland on Saturday. Major opening weekend at Keeneland, opens Friday with some graded stakes, and again, I think about 5 on Saturday. Wise Dan and Groupie Doll both entered on Saturday. Should be a great day. A little rain and a high of 50 predicted as a cold front blows in here, but that shouldn't have much impact on the poly track except to tighten it up a little bit. This is a very, very tough race. The Breeders' Futurity, 14 entered with 2 also eligibles. I will say that Pete picked the race this week. I really struggled with this one. This one is a dart toss for me. I think Pete's a little bit more confident in his assessment of this race than I am, so I'm going to turn it over to you, Pete. And maybe you can throw some really good ones out there because my horse is strictly a bomb play.
Okay. Pressure's on, huh? I mean, always when we're looking at these polytrack races, especially early in horses' careers, I almost think you always have to try to get a price because you just don't know how they're going to run on the polytrack. You know, you can.
Right. We've
seen a lot of turf efforts transfer to the Keeneland polytrack, and turf horses, you know, especially if they've been racing, they usually come in pretty fit, which I think is really important on polytrack, especially this one. Mm-hmm. And then you throw in this unique course configuration. The 1 mile and 16th at Keeneland has this short stretch run.
Short stretch, remember that for sure.
And you know, it can turn into a jockey's race, and with 14 horses, you know, it is a little bit of a dart toss, I'll agree. But I did find a few horses that I think have the kind of runs that can transfer here. For my top pick, and it's you know, kind of a mild top pick, I found a little group of horses that I like a little bit. But my top pick in here is Java's War.
That's a price, we think.
I think. It's just as hard to predict what the odds are going to be in here as it is to predict a winner. But Java's War broke his maiden at Ellis Park really impressively, stalking the pace, wide trip on the turf. The horse that finished third in his maiden, Son of a Samurai, came back at Saratoga and won a maiden special very impressively. Java's War then ships to Louisiana Downs, goes in the Sunday Silence Stakes, and really impressed me, took a big step forward first against winners that day. He was last out of the gate after getting shuffled a little bit, and he just got right into that race, started advancing, you know, between horses, up the rail, just kind of like, he shouldn't have been able to get through, but it was like one of those efforts from a horse where they kind of make room for themselves, or, you know, the other horses tend to get out of their way, which, you know, sometimes I think is luck and sometimes I think has something to do with the presence of a horse. And in this case, I was really impressed with Java's War. He caught up through some fast fractions, and then he ran down a stakes winner by the name of Brown Almighty. And I thought it was a really good effort. You know, the speed figure was good. There was a race for 2-year-old fillies on the same card, and this was more than a second faster than that race. That race was won by a Ramsey Kitten's Joy 2-year-old filly, who I believe was a maiden, but she was coming out of a live maiden special at Saratoga. So, I mean, to me, Java's War is the kind of horse, you know, he's a war pass out of a Rainbow Quest mare. All his form is turf right now, but that's the kind of horse that can often transfer their form to this Keeneland polytrack. And
strong case for that one. Jockey also comes in from Louisiana to ride. So
yeah.
Richard Aramia, who is a good jockey, won a lot of races at fairgrounds last winter, I believe. So,
you know, looking at the pace in here, it's a little bit unpredictable. I saw a few potential front runners, though.
I can't figure it out. So, yeah, who are your front runners?
The rail horse, Joha, probably has to be sent. We've got Tiz Racer from the Todd Pletcher barn, who broke his maiden by 10.5 at Belmont Park going a mile.
One turn.
Yeah, he looks like he's probably potential speed. A horse by the name of Dipsy Drew that went wire to wire at Kentucky Downs. John Court's on board. That horse could get sent. Craving Carrots could potentially get sent. You know, talking about how this is a jockey's race, the enigmatic Kent DeSormo, I actually think who's on Craving Carrots here, I think Kent rides this configuration better than any other jockey I've seen. You know, I believe he won the race last year on Dullahan, and I've just seen him make that early big move and get in position for the short stretch run and put his horse in position to win more than a few times.
All right, well, that's the horse that I picked, Craving Carrots. Trained by Dale Romans, ridden by Kent DeSormo, as you said, and part of the ownership team won this race last year with the aforementioned Dullahan. You know, the numbers aren't there. Once again, we thank Briss for the PPs. And looking at all the categories listed in the PP analysis, this horse usually is on the bottom. However, that said, he did break his maiden on the grass at 1.16 at Saratoga. Not a quick race. He did wire the field, came back, really not a good trip. He never really had like running room. That was the grade 2 with anticipation on the turf. What I like about him is Romans did ship the horse from Churchill Downs to Keeneland to work, and he worked 5/8 and 59 4, which was the quickest of 33 on September 29th. I'm going to go with that. Romans knows how to get horses ready, so I'm going to take a stab. This horse may be 20-30 to 1. I really don't care because I don't know if I could get value on some other horses.
Yeah.
So.
One other horse we'll mention really quick, Balance the Books. He's probably going to be one of the favorites. He won, though, with anticipation, with a really quick late burst of energy. He figures to take money. We were talking about turf horses transferring their form to poly. Sometimes those horses that have that huge turn of foot will disappoint on the poly, which can be more of a gallopers and even running horses surface. But there should be great odds in this race, and I'm going to stick with Java's War, maybe a little exacta box with a couple other ones, or play around with 50-cent trifecta.
All right, thanks, Pete. We wish you all the best at Keeneland this weekend. This is a good race to bet, and we wish you the best betting it. And once again, be sure to check out Pete's locksmith picks at bloodhorse.com this weekend. For Pete, I'm Tom. Have a great weekend.